Hello and welcome to the Memory Card. One of my favorite games that was released for the PlayStation 3 was No Kuni: Wrath of the White Witch. It was a really unique game and had some Pokemon thrown in there with its system for collecting familiars. So whenever I found out that there was going to be a sequel to the game coming out for the PS4, well, I couldn't wait, especially when I heard about some of the changes that were going to be made to the game, both in presentation and in gameplay. So today, let's talk about No Kuni II: Revenant Kingdom for the PlayStation 4. No Kuni II came out less than 2 weeks ago on March 23rd, and I've already sunk a lot of time into this game. Right off the bat, one of the first things that catches your eye is the stunning art style. The developer Level 5 worked with Studio Ghibli directly on the previous game, and even made the 2D animated cutscenes for that game. And considering that the studios behind classics like Princess Mononoke and Spirited Away, those cutscenes looked phenomenal. But for No Kuni II, Studio Ghibli as a whole was less involved, mainly just people like character designers and people like that from Studio Ghibli were used. Now all the cutscenes and gameplay in No Kuni II are all in-engine, which still does a great job recreating the Studio Ghibli art style in 3D, which is a really nice achievement. And the soundtrack in this game is just as beautiful and charming as the visuals in this game. So, from a presentation standpoint alone, No Kuni II is an absolute winner. I won't go too much into the story of No Kuni II, considering it's an RPG and the story is pretty important, but I'll give you the basic setup for the story. You play as King Evan, who lost his old kingdom and is rebuilding his life with a new kingdom alongside a man named Roland, who was, I guess, a president from present time, but got sent to this world somehow, and he adjusts to life in this new world fairly easily. Now, as you'd expect, you spend a lot of the game traveling around, meeting new party members along the way, building up your kingdom, building up your characters, and exploring the world around you and seeing new civilizations and different creatures and stuff like that. The story starts a little bit dark, which is in keeping with the previous game, but it still is generally very lighthearted, fun, and likable. And just hearing the names of different locations, monsters, and characters will get that across pretty quickly. And this game also isn't really a direct sequel to the original No Kuni, so you don't really need to have to know that game very well or even have played it or know anything about it to be able to enjoy this game. The gameplay is pretty different this time around in No Kuni II. It uses an active battle system which kind of reminds me of the Tales games, like Tales of Symphonia for the GameCube. And you have full control of your character in a 3D arena, and a little battle arena, kind of like in Okami. And you can switch between 3 melee weapons and a ranged weapon, and use different spells and skills, and you can switch between any of your 3 party members at will in combat. There's also these little sprites that you find throughout the game called Higgledies that you can activate for certain effects, like hurting an enemy or healing yourself. And yeah, they're called Higgledies. If you can't handle some goofy, cutesy names like the Kingdom of Ding Dong Dell that sound like they're straight from a kid's fairy tale, then maybe the story and general game world won't really do it for you. And also, that combat system might sound a bit complex, but in practice it's actually really intuitive and really fun to play. In this game you can also engage in some bigger skirmishes, but don't go in thinking that it's going to be like Total War or XCOM or some real big strategy game, because it's not really all that deep. These bigger skirmishes involve a weapon triangle system that kind of reminds me of Fire Emblem, and these skirmishes are fun, but mechanically they're pretty simple, and I generally didn't enjoy them quite as much as the regular combat. There's also a kingdom building aspect of the game, which is pretty central to the storyline as well, and I love having the ability to build up a kingdom in a game. I mean, being the king was really one of the only good parts of Fable 3 after all. But like the skirmishes, the kingdom building is a little shallow, because you can't really choose where the buildings go. Can't really customize your kingdom in that way. Everything has a certain place that it goes. Your main choices in this area are who will staff each building and what things will be researched there. And doing certain side quests can give you new citizens in your kingdom, because apparently people of other governments don't mind if you recruit their citizens to move over to your kingdom instead, and sometimes in fairly big roles, so I guess it's nice that people are cooperative that way. But anyway, even though the kingdom building and the skirmishers are fairly shallow, they never really detracted from the fun I had in this game. But your mileage may vary. There are, like I said, plenty of side quests to build up your characters and kingdom, and get new citizens, and learn more about the world around you. And none of them ever felt like a waste of time to me. They always added to the game to me and always added more to the story, and being able to learn more about some characters' backstories or just learn more about the way the world works. And I always really enjoyed them. The main storyline also is really fun as well, and I was definitely invested the whole way through. There weren't really any times that I wasn't enjoying No Kuni II. It really is one of the best games so far released this year, and in my opinion, one of the best RPGs that's out on the PlayStation 4. If you're a fan of Japanese RPGs or Studio Ghibli or really just charming, lighthearted games, then I can definitely say that you would enjoy this game. Now, that's not to say this game isn't too easy or anything like that. In fact, with the skirmishes, there's a hard mode you can do whenever you beat them the first time around if you just really want to have a hard time with them. And if you don't do a whole bunch of the side quests or grind in battles, then you'll definitely feel plenty of challenge in the fights and all that. But this is a game that can definitely appeal to a fairly wide range of people, and I don't think this is a game that you should pass up on the PlayStation 4. Or also, I'm pretty sure it's on Steam as well, so if you want it on PC, it's also there, but I have it on the PlayStation 4, just easier for me that way. But, regardless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on the memory card.